Okay, it is a busy week for the shows, but it's also a busy week in the NFL, and OTAs are starting today. I am joined by Tucker Franklin out of the Kansas City, Missouri area, and pleasure to meet you. First one I've really gotten on the Instagram, but through the world of social media and connections, sometimes it's just a click away. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me, Steve. Excited to come and talk a little bit of ball.
Yeah, definitely, right? It's the NFL. It never ta seems to take a day off. I mean,
Right.
there is a bit of a, you know, between the Super Bowl and the Combine, there's a bit, but then after that, you got the draft and everything else. How are you kind of feeling about the Chiefs going into this year?
Yeah, I think truthfully, you'd feel a little bit better if their wide receiver one wasn't in a jail cell right now. That's kind of the big story going into it is the wide receivers, and obviously Patrick Mahomes coming off the ACL injury, but got a little bit of a glimpse of him working out a little bit in OTAs, and he looks to be way ahead of schedule and at a point where you don't really expect a guy who has had a surgery to his extent to be that ready. And I think that's been kind of the most impressive thing with his recovery. If you're looking on the positive side of things, if you don't want to kind of ignore the Rashee Rice of it all, but his ability to be back already and wearing that. Now, granted, it is a pretty big brace, which you would expect someone to wear after an ACL injury, and the leg sleeve as well. But for the fact that he's dropping back and throwing passes at this point after he tore his ACL and is quite remarkable.
Yeah, because that was I think that was a week 16, 17, or week 15, 16 game versus the Chargers.
Right,
Middle
yeah.
of December. So just kind of like the tongue tie. I maybe he is better along than me, and then you just had your wisdom teeth out last week. So
Right, right. Yeah.
everybody knows. So yes, timeline, and again, he's 30 years old. Will turn 31 in
Mhm.
September. Um, but it is fascinating, and with saying that, do you agree that the Chiefs window is still wide open?
Oh yeah. No, I still think that even this year, if Patrick Mahomes decides, that he wants to be the Patrick Mahomes of old, I think that they're in a good spot and that window is still open, right?
Yeah.
I think as he gets older, it's going to depend on the pieces that they put around him.
Hmm.
But for now, he's been able to to shoulder a lot of that burden. And I think that his ability to do that and to shoulder that burden has been remarkable in one regard, but at one point you don't want to burn that out. You don't want to burn that ability out by just making it so he has to do that all the time. They're gonna need to put more guys around him, especially with Travis Kelce's aging and everything like that. But I do think their window is still open. It's just going to depend how long it's open is going to depend on how they fill the team out around him.
Right, and Veach and those guys, they've kind of proven to do that. We see Trent McDuffie get traded to the Rams, create that cap space. Were you surprised by the draft pick from the cornerback from LSU?
Initially I was, especially for the trade up. I think I was surprised for it. But when you look at the roster that they have and the players that they had on their roster, I don't think that you I don't think I was surprised after that. I looked at the roster of like cornerbacks and was like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense. They don't really have any cornerbacks. They needed a cornerback. Like they probably needed somebody who could play corner because their first end options were not good. So going up and getting Mansour Delane is a good move in a draft that I don't think had a ton of guys out there
Mhm.
that'll be
Right.
well, I won't say that the high end talent of that draft is not going to be as much as like maybe next year's draft or the years prior to it, right? So I think that they decided, yeah, we would rather go up and get this guy that can help us right away, help us right now, than saving that pick 74, which I think we all kind of talked about of being one of the most important. They had four picks in the top 100, and you'd like to hit on all four of those guys. They used one of those picks to go get one guy that they had felt really strongly about. And Brett Veach before the draft said he liked about 15 players in the draft, like the guys that they felt very strongly about. So they were, I mean, they were conviction, they had some conviction in their choice, and I think you have to like that to some extent.
Yeah. I completely agree. I like that. I like to hear the takes because when I've had other Chiefs fans on, even last week, wasn't necessarily desiring that pick. So it's interesting to hear some of those perspectives on that. And it's an exciting time. Do you kind of pinch yourself that in the center of America that the Chiefs are still you know in this Mahomes world? It's been a pretty epic run, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been something that I don't know if even the craziest Chiefs fan could have imagined, right? Like if you would have said this in what, 20, I guess the year before they drafted Mahomes, you're like, yeah, the Chiefs are gonna win back-to-back Super Bowls. They're gonna go to 3 and 5 years. They're gonna have a chance for a three-peat. You'd be like, what is this dude smoking? What is he high on? I want to get some of that stuff. I want those pills that he's popping. But for it to happen the way that it has, and for it to just ignite kind of the city and really like the area, because the Chiefs are more than just Kansas City, right? Kansas City obviously takes pride in them, but like so much of the area. Like I grew up all over the state of Missouri, not just in Kansas City. Now I currently live in Kansas City, but I grew up North Missouri, South Missouri. I mean, outside of some of the places you get closer to St. Louis when they had the Rams when I was growing up, there would be some Rams fans over there. But pretty much the whole state of Missouri is Chiefs fans, and I find that to be fascinating. You go up to Nebraska, Iowa, like those places, those are Chiefs fans. Like you're getting into Chiefs fans. Kansas is Chiefs fans. Once you get closer to Denver, obviously it tapers off, but a lot of it down to Oklahoma, and even there's a good contingency in Dallas where the team first originated that are still huge Chiefs fans because they don't like what the NFL did with the Cowboys and driving the Chiefs out of Dallas. So there's a large contingency just like kind of everywhere in the Midwest for Chiefs fans, and that's what's been so cool about it, like the community of it as well. Just to see how much it's done for just the Midwest in general. Like you look at the World Cup that's coming to Kansas City now this summer. The Kansas City is the only like coastal city and non-coastal city. Everyone else had like I mean, Toronto and Vancouver, right? The Vancouver's a bit coastal. Toronto is a little bit more like landlocked, but it's a much bigger city, right? So
Right.
when you look in those regards, and then you look at I saw the map the other day of like all of where all the games are, and it's just like all around, and then there's just Kansas City in the middle, and it's just kind of crazy to think about. Do I think that like this would happen if Patrick Mahomes wasn't the quarterback and they had had the success? No, probably not, because the Chiefs tried in 1996 to get the World Cup when it was last in the United States, and it didn't happen. So I don't know if this would happen if it's not for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and Travis Kelce and Chris Jones and going on their dynastic runs for people to at least notice. Oh, like nationally, the Chiefs have a pretty big national brand. And for people worldwide to be like, oh yeah, I know Kansas City because of the Chiefs, like that is important for not just football. Like that is important in just the grand scheme of things, I guess, of everything.
Yeah, I mean, tourism dollars, everything
Oh
else.
yeah.
I mean, when we're planning to go down to a game there, my wife goes, "Well, we'll just like we'll kind of spread it out. If we're gonna go there, we'll spend some time." So I mean, there's Union Station, there's the baseball museum there as
Yes.
well, right? So it's you pick up on some of these things again. The KC barbecues, literally, I believe world famous. Maybe that's an over
No,
exaggeration.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to go to Q39, but then my wife goes, she watches the Kelsey podcast. Well, Travis
Uh,
talks about Joe's,
yeah.
the hotel we booked is close to a Joe's. And so yeah, it is, I don't know. To me, it's a smaller Winnipeg.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But um, that's kind of my take on it. But yeah, I mean, so what was kind of going through your mind personally when the Chiefs won Super Bowl 54? Were you there? Where were you? What emotions?
Super Bowl 54, I was in college at the time.
Hmm.
And I was working for I think I was working for the school newspaper at that time. For a little bit, I worked for the paper that was in the city. After I well, not even after I graduated college. My senior year of college, I took a full-time job working for the newspaper of the city that the college was in. And I think at the time I was working for the college newspaper and I was watching with some buddies and just kind of it was almost one of those moments of just like, I can't believe that the Chiefs are here type of deal. Like, even when they won the AFC title game, I was like, that's crazy that the Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl and I get to watch the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And then at that point, like winning the AFC championship game and just going to the Super Bowl was already just like such a feat in its own, where I was just like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. Like, I'm just glad that I get to watch the Chiefs in this game. And then obviously the game starts and you are just like, man, I cannot believe they're losing this game. Like they should be beating this team. And they Mahomes makes the comeback and everything, and it was phenomenal. But I just remember being so exhausted after that game gets done, just for like of a release of just all different emotions in the midst of that game of just like try experiencing the whole gambit of just every emotion. And I don't know if it really hit me until weeks later that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl is like even after like the parade and everything because the
Mm,
parade was like record colds if you
yeah.
remember it was very cold when they did the parade, so I didn't end up going to the parade for that. I also believe it was like National Signing Day for Division two colleges in the state of Missouri, or like just in America, like Division two colleges. It was National Signing Day, so I had to cover the Division two college I was at signing day, so I couldn't go to the parade. It was one of those things where I think looking back at it, I didn't think I understood what it really meant, but I know I had a lot of emotions in about just like them being there and then them winning it, how cool that was.
I love it. It's fascinating because it's always about the journey, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
mentioned that because it was the year where they got the two buys, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we saw Miami beat the Patriots and then the Chiefs win that game to get
Yep.
into the. I'm like, are you kidding me? And okay, now I can go skating with the family. Like it was like, and then we all know about how they're down 24 nothing to the Texans. And
Right.
then
Yeah.
Sorsen makes that block and I'm just well, we're all losing it, right? I don't know
Yeah.
what you were, but I was holy smokes. And then they're down. They can't stop Henry,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then they slowly take over. Mahomes hits the touchdown pass. I think to Watkins. I could be wrong on that, but and it's like wow. And then that's when Kelsey kind of started coming out of a shell, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get the fight for your right to party and
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
everything else, right? And yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, it is definitely something. And then yeah, so that was my take. But,
Oh yeah, no, it's great. That playoff run was incredible. The Chiefs have had some pretty insane runs in their Super Bowl victories. They've had some pretty insane runs to the Super Bowl. Sometimes you get a lot of runs like what some teams have not had to face some difficult stuff, but the Chiefs, some of their runs to the Super Bowls are monumental, and I think that kind of gets lost in all the wins too.
yeah, definitely right. So yeah, it's how do you kind of see the Chiefs kind of playing out this particular year? I know you kind of touched on it a bit, but
Yeah.
their schedule a bit. First two games at home, primetime games. So
Hmm.
they knew something we didn't, and now with the OTAs and Mahomes being ready, it's not going to be Justin Fields. It'll be Mahomes, most
Yeah.
likely. But then you got some hard games there between you got the Rams, you got the Bengals, the Bills on Thanksgiving night. So I mean,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
some people would say it's brutal.
Yeah, look, it starts pretty good. I know there's been a lot of cherry picking stats out there about how the Chiefs have the easiest strength of schedule through like week four, which is absurd to talk about, truthfully, because they do have the super early bye week in week five as well. They do start off those two primetime games, Denver at home and then the Colts at home too. Like those are two game. Well, I shouldn't say two games. If they split those games, I think you feel okay going into Miami and Vegas to both of those places because those are also two games that they should win. At worst, the Chiefs should be 3-1 heading into the bye, in my opinion. That sets you up in a good position to take on the Chargers at home after the bye too. So like you should feel good about Andy Reid after the bye. That Chargers game is at home. All right, you feel good about that. They should take that one. And then Seattle, this kind of starts the stretch of tough games that go to Seattle in week 7. That one's going to be interesting. I don't think Seattle's going to be as good as they were last year just because they've lost a lot. I mean, Kenneth Walker's no longer on that offense. They did resign Rashid Shaheed, tongue twister there, but they lost Clint Kubiak in the offensive mastermind there, and they've lost a ton on the back end of their defense too. So I don't necessarily think that the Seahawks are going to be the juggernaut that they were last year. And then you go to Denver to follow that up. That could be a tough one. I could see him dropping that game, but they shouldn't drop any of the next three in 9, 10, 11 when they play the Jets, the Falcons, and Cardinals. Like those, all three games should be give me wins, which then will start the tough run of Thanksgiving night at Buffalo. Then they go to LA the next Thursday, and then they go to Cincinnati. That's a brutal three road game stretch right there. That they'll then have the Patriots at Monday Night Football and then the Niners at home, but like I don't think the Patriots will be that good this year either. Like I think that the Patriots are a regression candidate as well. It's going to depend on if they trade for AJ Brown, but I still think that they'll regress a little bit just because they, much like the Broncos, were a team of fortune. I think in a lot of the ball bounced away in a lot of these games. That will come back to the mean. We saw that last year with the Chiefs, where just like they were very fortunate to be in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and when they got there, I mean, we saw what happened, but the you saw the regression last year for that team. And then just to kind of close it out, like San Francisco, obviously, I mentioned that one. Who knows if they'll be injured by that time? Like you get them late enough in the season, they might all be hurt. So that's a good one. Same thing with the Chargers too. Like you go to LA late enough that they might all be hurt as well, and then in with the Raiders again. So I I kind of like how it shapes up, truthfully, because of there is that tough stretch in the middle, but you really are cushioned around it. I think that there's some cushioning around it where you can really ramp up into this tough stretch that they have where you're getting your games all three in a row. Are these going to be these tough games, anticipated tough games? Who knows what'll happen? Who knows if Joe Burrow will even be healthy by week 14, right? You could be getting Jake Browning in week 14. So it's one of those things where I think that as it shapes up now, I can see some avenues of where, oh, the schedule actually isn't as tough as we thought it was going to be because of what the histories of some of these teams are.
Right. I mean, we even saw, like we'll see if a Bo Nix is healthy. We'll see if a Daniel
Yeah,
Jones is
right.
healthy, right?
Hmm.
Guy coming off ACL surgery. Yeah, so there are a lot of question marks for other teams. It's always easy for the Chiefs to look at themselves and say, well, shoot, but you know what? With the history becomes, as I've heard recently, pressure is a privilege, and I think
Hmm.
the Chiefs embrace that, honestly.
Yeah, I think you have to at this point when you've gotten to as many Super Bowls as you have, won as many Super Bowls as you have to embrace the pressure aspect of it. The Week 5 bye does sting a little bit, especially for a team that has some playoff aspirations and wants to make deep runs. So it makes the one seed all that more important. So you do get that extra bye rest week from everybody. But yeah, the Week 5 bye I think is less than ideal. But other than that, I think you're pretty okay with how the schedule shapes up.
Yeah, because there's been years prior where, they play on December 21st and they play Christmas Day and then they're they got
Yeah.
3 games in 10 days. So, um, which kind of hits, I want to address something that Jason Kelsey actually said. He goes, the NFL is getting away from what made the NFL special, which was Sundays and Mondays, right? And now
Yeah.
they used to be Thursday after American Thanksgiving. Now it's Thursday week 2. And I believe the NFL, again from the outside looking in, they think, okay, we can play on any day of the week after the pandemic. Do
Hmm.
you do you think more is better, or do you think less is more?
I tend to agree with Jason here a little bit. We've talked about this a little bit on the podcast I do with Matt Verderam, that football show. But
Mhm.
what it's Sundays are so special where you can kind of sit down and have all those games on and you can watch Red Zone or you can have your pick of the litter of what game you want to put on if you have Sunday ticket or you just get the game that you were given in the broadcast window, right? So it's one of those things where Sundays were so sacred where every team was playing on that day, sans the bye weeks, but all the teams are playing. And that's special. And I love that and I appreciate that about the NFL. One Monday night game, one Thursday night game, sure. That's okay. I think we've gotten to the point where those seem to be okay at this point. But getting away from Sundays and playing games on Sundays is kind of a bummer. We don't need a Wednesday Thanksgiving Eve game, right? Like that's doing a little bit too much. Black Friday is a little too much, right? I get it. We want to make it an event. We want to make it a destination. But what is so good about the NFL is community, right? And I just talked a little bit about how like the Chiefs' kingdom stretches so much further than just Kansas City. The community of just like all NFL fans getting together on a single day and watching games is incredible. I remember in college, when I was in college, you meet a bunch of different people that you probably wouldn't have met just by staying in your hometown, right? So I met a lot of guys who were Steelers fans. We knew some Patriots fans. Like all of us from different fandoms would come together on Sundays to watch our teams play. And that kind of communal spot for all of us watching on one day is something that everyone will you yearn for that, right? You yearn for that community and creating that community and having all the teams playing on Sunday is one way to create that. And they're getting away from it because now I think you look at the schedule. I think week 18 or no, week 14 against the Bengals, they have the 325 slot. There's only one other 325 game that week.
I know.
And so you're getting going in week 14 and you've got two at late afternoon games. Like it feels like we're missing the plot kind of. We're just trying too much to get everywhere. Like I understand why people want to watch football on Christmas. I understand. I love to watch football. Like I get it. Like so I understand the other side of it where it's like I want to watch football, but they kind of encroach on the college football territory of things, right? Like college football should be playing. They've got the Tuesday night midweek games, right? Your Maction, you like that shitty college football that you probably wouldn't watch otherwise, but it's on Tuesday, right? Like that's why you're watching it. That's kind of their territory. The NFL doesn't need to play in that. The NFL doesn't need to play in that, and I understand that they're getting more money for putting these destinations on. They're making more of the TV money and everything like that, but at some point, somebody's got to say enough's enough.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree because it's just okay. Well, you're putting the 40 you're putting the Seahawks and
Yeah,
Patriots game on the Wednesday, and then you're putting another team in Australia,
right.
the Rams and 49ers, that's starting at 10:30 in the morning in Australia.
I know it's
Like, are we serious?
counterproductive.
Are we serious here? We wouldn't even put a junior hockey game in town at 10:30 in the morning. That makes no sense. Like even for like I thought about this, or I plan to take the family down like for a noon game. Okay, well we'll have to all get up. Like I went to the 325 game versus the Chargers
Hmm.
3 years ago. Okay, well we buy the kids some t-shirts. Okay, we get to tailgate at 10:30. Okay, there was time. That was a great time slot. The 325 time slot's great, but
Yeah,
yeah, it is kind of all over. It's and a guy who didn't grow up having cable TV for a bit was like,
right.
hey, I had to watch my noon game, and then that was it. And then
Hmm.
if I caught Chris Berman a bit, well, they were fine. And then I went to Keith's house. Keith, I know you're watching. I came over to watch the Monday night game or Sunday. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's yeah, it is and that but that's the thing with the NFL. They make everything into a big event. Like
yes.
the schedule release is 2 hours, so they get Joe Buck on, and then people are going to be watching.
Hmm.
It's fascinating to me how they do this, but they can. But you talk about how they approach on the college.
Right.
Yes, that Black Friday, I think there are college games that are
Oh
happening.
yeah, that's a big like rivalry weekend too for college. Like in college football, that Thanksgiving week is typically a rivalry weekend where a lot of like the biggest rivalries in the sport will play. And Missouri used to play Arkansas on Black Friday. They don't really anymore, but that was kind of the day that they used to play that game. And a lot of these rivalries games will happen on that Black Friday, but now they've kind of gotten away from that because of the NFL.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, last year, yeah, the Bears and Eagles, okay, fine, but I mean, they had the Jets at home on a Black Friday. I think that was
Ugh.
like This is awful. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
Like really? You putting the
yeah.
Jets and Dolphins? I know you got Mike McDaniel there at the time, and okay, it's New York. Okay, people are going to show up, but yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Kind of, how did you get your start in media?
I went to college for sports media. I kind of knew ever since growing up that I wanted to. I saw Stuart Scott on Sports Center and decided that's what I wanted to do. And kind of ever since then, I was hooked. I was always a big sports kid. I played every sport growing up, and knew that I probably didn't have a future going pro in it. So I knew I wanted to be involved and around it. So uh, I went to school at Northwest Missouri State University to pursue a degree in sports media, got involved in the student newspaper, then parlayed that into a job before I graduated to the local newspaper there in Maryville. And I was only there for about 6 months before COVID hit, and I was laid off because of that. And then I started with Joshua Briscoe, the Chiefs on SI site, the Sports Illustrated site, which now, funny enough, KCSN operates. Was so it's kind of a full circle moment, but that was kind of my first start in covering the Chiefs was there on
Hmm.
the on SI the Chiefs on SI.com. And from there I had started a daily podcast covering the Chiefs, just talking about everything going on. It was a 20-minute podcast where we would just talk about the hot topics. It was every single day. So it was something that was different than a lot of other podcasts at the time. Was my thought, and it kind of parlayed that into a job at KC Sports Network when it launched of just being the podcast producer. And ever since we launched in 2021, launched on May 4th of 2021. So we're on past our 5 year anniversary now, and I joined in July of 2021. So not much longer after they launched, they brought me aboard, and it's been awesome just to see everything that has happened from building the podcast network to just kind of the content evolution of not only us growing, but also like the Chiefs being good has also really helped as well. So like I think that's been a good thing for us. But getting into KCSN, knowing these guys, I mean, we got phenomenal podcasts for the KC Laboratory was the kind of the flagship show, right? The show that was started with it with Matt Lang, Ken Swanson, and Craig Stout. Those guys have a wealth of football knowledge, and it's great to just kind of talk with them about what they see, and it kind of has developed my understanding of the game a little bit more. And then adding Joshua Briscoe and Nate Taylor and Seth Kaiser for Only Weird Games, like that's been a huge one, formerly Times Ours. So when the Athletic decided they were cutting a lot of their podcast stuff, Seth had asked me, he's like, "Hey, we might be in like a little bit of a pickle when it comes to our podcast. We want to keep it going. We can't keep the name. We can't keep the feed.
Hmm.
We got something we need to talk about something." And I brought that up to BJ. They came over, and it's been pretty much history ever since. And then I started my podcast, that football show with Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated as well. Uh, Gosh, I think it was about 2 years ago. It was just after the combine, I think 2 years ago. Him and I started this podcast, and it's been one of the more fun podcasts that we've done, and it's quickly uh, garnered, I want to say, a cult-like following. I don't want to call ourselves a cult leaders or anything, but it's certainly a cult-like following with the podcast. But it's been great. I think that obviously the Chiefs doing this in the time where the Chiefs are the best they've ever been and have a dynasty has obviously been helpful. But yeah, that's it's been amazing.
So you're a pretty busy guy.
Yeah, yeah. That's just the Chief stuff too. KC Sports, we cover all the local colleges. We got Royal stuff content going on right now too, with the Royals playing with everything. But yeah, I mean that's just the tip of the iceberg, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean it's good to be in all facets of KC sports. I mean, and again, you have the Jayhawks that are close
Yeah.
by as well. So you're probably in Lawrence there for a bit. I don't know, but yeah. So I mean, that's kind of wild. Do you go to Chiefs games on a regular basis? Then do you have your credentials to do all that?
So I'm not. I don't. We have somebody who does that. Who's Herbie Teope's our day-to-day beat reporter there for the Chiefs. But I probably go to one a year. Just as a fan though too,
Yeah.
not as like working. So it's been great to kind of do like because we do our post game show as well after the games. So we're live right at the final whistle. We go live. So we always have that on our YouTube channel, KC Sports Network. So
Okay.
that's what always kind of keeps us. I don't want to say tied down because it's a labor of love with the post game show for sure. We do love doing it, but it's one thing you gotta. I always have the I gotta stay home and watch the game. I know it's like I can't come over. I gotta watch the game at the home at the house. So that's always a good built-in excuse to have. So if I don't want to have to go over to anyone's house to watch the game, but no. So I don't go to all the games, but we got somebody Herbie. Longtime beat reporter. Used to work for Kansas City Star. Times Picayune down in New Orleans. Covered, I think, NFL Network as well. So he's covered the NFL for I think more years than I've been alive. We discussed. So he's been after it for a while, and he's the guy who's there every day.
Yeah, I always say the NFL is like the most addicting league in the world, right?
Oh
Again,
yeah.
getting away from the Sunday thing, part of that, there's so few games. Every game means so much. Even look at the Rams Seahawks last year. I mean, we saw the Seahawks go for two. That's why they got the bye. That's
Yep.
why they're Super Bowl champs. I mean, a lot of other stuff goes into that, but there's a lot that builds into it, storylines, etc. Did you get an invitation to the Travis Swift wedding?
If I did, it got lost in the mail.
Okay.
I haven't received it yet. I think it might have just been lost in the mail. Look, the U.S. Postal Service is not necessarily the most reliable thing in the world, so I'm still chalking it up to maybe a clerical error on their end.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, love it. Love the answer. Mentors, role models.
Gosh. BJ Kissel was a big one. Just
Hmm.
because of he obviously the founder of KC Sports Network. He used to be the Chiefs team reporter there for a little bit at the start of the dynastic run, and he had started KC Sports Network. But him kind of trusting me with what I need to do with what everything like the company needs to do from a day to day is a big thing, and his guidance has been huge for that. I mean, there's been a lot of people just at KC Sports Network who have been uh, big in guiding me along. Joshua Briscoe was one of the guys where I interned at Sports Radio 810 going into my senior year of college, and Josh was the guy that I interned for on the night show that he had. I mean, we wouldn't go on the air until like 8:30 sometimes, 8:30, 9 o'clock when we would be going on the air for a couple hour show. So we got to know each other pretty early, and we've kind of kept in touch for the last oh gosh, I mean that was 2018, so we're coming up kind of close to 10 years now
Hmm.
on since we've known each other. So Josh has been really big in just the in that whole journey of my content creation. But those guys specifically are two pretty big ones.
Nice. Covering the Royals, Kauffman Stadium. I know there's a lot of things with the stadiums, right?
Yeah.
We have the Chiefs that are going to be in Kansas now. I don't know what's with Missouri teams, always moving away.
Hmm.
But anyhow, we have that, and then the Royals. There's been again talk with Jackson County about moving downtown, correct?
Yeah, no,
That's
it
sort of
looks
thing.
like they are going to move downtown at like the Crown Center kind of by Union Station. Baseball should always be downtown. I think that's always like it's a very downtown sport, and it thrives in being in that environment. So it always made sense for the Chiefs to go to a spot where they could build a lot around it, and for the Royals to go to a spot where they could be downtown. That kind of always made sense, I think. But I'm glad they finally settled on a spot at the Crown Center. The family who founded Hallmark, the Halls, and the Royals have had a rich history together. I mean, they created the first Royals logo actually.
Hmm,
So that family did. So, yeah, it's they have a very rich intertwined history. So now using the land that I think the Hallmark headquarters is on for the baseball field just seems kind of poetic in some regard for the two kind of big families of Kansas City to come together and come to a decision.
Well, that's fascinating. Is that the same hallmark that would create the movie there for the Chiefs, or am I off?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
same
okay.
company. Yeah, Hallmark. Yeah, Hallmark was founded in Kansas City, and all of like the greeting cards, the cheesy Christmas movies, all of it is all Kansas City based. Yeah.
It was funny when I was watching that movie. I was like, oh, I can almost see where we sat. We sat right. We were four rows up, right where they unveiled the Dante Hall
Oh yeah.
unveiling. So it was that
Uh-huh.
game, and I follow Farzan,
Oh
and
yeah.
and we were in that shot, and I have the
Oh,
most
that's cool.
bewildered look on my face. But anyhow, I was like, holy smokes! Like we went there for the tour. I'm like, they're gonna unveil it right there. So that was quite. I should say Farzine. So that was yeah, it is kind of neat when they show a movie and you're like, oh, you were there, right?
Yeah, right.
It's it kind of puts these places like even when they're doing a movie in Winnipeg, it's okay, I recognize that street. Maybe I
Yeah.
get too nostalgic with all that, but
No, no, no. I
you know,
I totally understand where you're coming from.
yeah. Favorite KC barbecue place in Kansas City?
Oh man, there's so many good ones. Chef J is one of the like I don't I don't know how to like it's a little bit smaller, sounds like commercial, I guess, is like you would say like some of the big four are with Jack Stack and Q39 and Joe's and Arthur Bryant's and Gates. Like those guys, those I feel like are all pretty big commercially. Chef J is a good one that it is kind of like I don't want to necessarily say hold the wall, but it is a spot where they're opening a new location in North Kansas City, a new building for themselves. But right now they're in a haunted house. Like they're in the side of a haunted house and they're only open from like Thursdays to Sundays, I think, and they open at 11 and they just go until they run out, which is usually pretty soon. Because they are that good. Every time I've had it, it's been incredible. Chef J is my favorite spot. If I'm going to one of like the big four, I'm probably just going to Joe's just because their consistency at Joe's is kind of unmatched. Like I find that to be very barbecue is all about variance, right? Like there's so
Right.
much that you can't control with barbecue. So the fact that Joe's consistently does what they do is a marvel in itself at the scale that they do. So Joe's is my favorite play. If I'm taking somebody out of town, I'm going to Joe's, having the Z-Man, we're having the fries, we're having all of that, right? We're gonna get a plate of all the meats. That's what we're doing. Look, there's nothing wrong with any of the other places, right? I think Gates probably has the best sauce. If you like a spicy sauce, Gates has that sauce. Arthur Bryant's does phenomenal things. Same thing with Q39. Q39 a little bit more upscale at a certain regard. There's Char Bar that's down at Westport that is kind of in the kind of Q39-ish. I mean, also has some very good stuff. So you will not go wrong if you just stumble into a barbecue spot. But I think my favorite one, if I just need some barbecue, I'm going to Joe's. If I really want to get some real nice, I don't want to call it boutique barbecue, maybe we'll call it, is Chef J in the West Bottoms.
Hey, that's a great take. So that's 2 votes for Joe.
There you go.
So I'll pass that on to my better half.
Okay.
Uh, we were at Char's Bar
Oh yeah.
3 years ago. And we wanted to go Q39, but then I remember being at the tour, and Keith is actually inboxed me. You got to get a reservation. So we were out of luck, and then I found out the Monday
Mm.
Night Crew when they covered the Eagles Chiefs a month later, they were there on the Sunday night or whatever, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
I could have said I was there, but
Yeah.
it's not about me. But um, so yeah, I'll mark down Joe's. So well,
You got to try them all though. Like, look,
yeah,
if you can go to Q39 and Joe's, you can get them both in. Do
okay,
it. I
good,
say that.
okay, okay, noted.
Yes.
Good deal. How much more time do you have?
I probably only got my mouth's getting sore, so
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna need to hang it up here. So I'll give you five or 10 more minutes. Yeah.
5 or 10 more minutes. Okay. Who has been the one of the your favorite Chiefs to interview?
Oh, that's a great question. Trey Smith is one of those guys that have had. that has been just he's so intelligent in just every regard, especially football, and just getting to talk to him just about football stuff at OLI Masterminds, the kind of the leadership that him and Creed have at that offensive line conference has been one of the cool things I've gotten to do and be around. And one of my favorite things that happened there is, I mean, Trey was kind of sitting off back in a corner. He'd been talking to a lot of these like younger offensive linemen that are there from like these bigger Division I colleges, going into the draft about just a bunch of different steps and everything like that. And he was, you kind of tell that his like social battery was wearing down, right? So he was over in a corner. I think they had like a pickup truck pulled into like this field. He was sitting in the pickup truck, and I went over there and I had told him I knew that Trey was a big WWE fan,
Mhm.
and Rikishi was actually at the this event too. Former WWE player. He might be a Hall of Famer as well. And I was telling him about how like Rikishi was here, and I was like, "Did you go see him? Did you go talk to him?" And we were talking about just like WWE for about 15, 20 minutes after that. After I told him about that. So, just the human side of these guys is one of the cool things that I like to tap into when I talk to them, because there's so much more than just football and football players.
Yep.
So when I have the opportunity to find something that really does interest him, like I think it was Andrew Wiley was very big into Pokemon cards. Like he really loved opening packs of Pokemon cards and getting to talk about to these guys about something that they love out off the field besides just football has been one of my favorite things to do. Because these guys, I mean, just like you and me, they got hobbies, right? Like, I mean, our hobby ends up being like their profession at some point. So it's kind of tough for them in some regards that they like to step away from what their day job is, and they want to do some things like watch WWE or rip some Pokemon cards like that. That's what they like to do. So getting to hear them talk about that, I think I can't remember who it was, but there was somebody in one of those like locker room open sessions. I think it was for the Texans. It might have been like Nico Collins. Or no, I think it was Roma Dunze for the Bears. They asked him about like
Mm.
what he got for Christmas, and he said he got a juicer, and he kept talking about making juice for like 5 minutes because that is something that he had recently found like passion in is like juicing. And juicing like different vegetables and like how much juice he can get out of like one apple compared to like one orange of juice, right? So like these guys all have their own interests, and to find that and to talk to them about those interests is always something that I really enjoy.
Yeah, yeah, that's the same thing here for the Bombers. We see Brady Oliveira with
Mm.
the animal rescue, even John Tortorella. I mean, he's big into other stuff off the field, like with horses and stuff. And
Yeah,
here he is coaching the Golden Knights. So you got to have that outlet. To me, this is my outlet, but
yeah,
and I do other stuff. Somebody wants to buy a fridge, but that's how it goes. I mean, and to talk to guys like you, so yeah, I got to say this has been an awesome almost 50 minutes.
I know. Yeah, we've gotten after it. We've gone all over the place too. I like it. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, appreciate it, and hope to have you on again sometime.
Yes, sir, Steve. I appreciate you, man.
Okay, awesome. Okay, you take care, and I'll put this on YouTube in the next few days and whatever else. But all the best in your recovery with the wisdom teeth.
Oh, I appreciate it. I wish it was faster. I do.
Yep.
I wish it was faster.
Well, 2011, I had the moto on the Monday, and I was at a Bomber game on a
Oh,
Friday, and I couldn't do it. I was like,
yeah,
I couldn't be like myself, my
yeah.
32-year-old self at the time. So I get it. I empathize with you, but hope to see you in KC in November.
Yes, sir. Hit me up. I'll be around. I appreciate
Okay.
you.
Okay. Awesome. Appreciate you
Yeah,
too.
see ya.
Take care.